Fox News alert, Donald Trump just tapped former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to be his next AG. This after Matt Gaetz withdrew his bid earlier today. We'll have more on that in a bit. But first, Biden's been soaking up his final days at the White House, and it's been a little lonely for the big guy. He tried throwing a birthday party, but Barack didn't show. Kamala's in Hawaii, and Nancy took away his cake.
Happy birthday, Joe. We got you a cake, but Nancy Pelosi insisted you sacrifice it for the good of democracy.
But today they let Joe out for some fresh air, and they even gave him a basketball.
I didn't know any of these guys behind me, but they just showed up. I don't know where the hell they came from. The balls. You're selling, right?
Biden's dribbling around the Rose Garden to "We Are the Champions," while the rest of the party is in mourning. Nance is still having nightmares.
Has it been 3 weeks? Just think of it as every morning that I get up and it's another morning of the reality, the reckoning.
Guess she's not coping too well after the coup. Pelosi is still saying it wasn't her fault.
Behind the scenes, you were very instrumental in encouraging President Biden to leave the race. Even before he did, polls were showing that the voters were very concerned about his age. Do you wish you had gotten involved earlier than you did?
Let me just say, the president made his own decision, and I salute him for his patriotism, for his selflessness, and the rest for the decision that he made.
The blame not slowing down because Democrats aren't over it.
America is about dollars and cents, sure, but we also pride ourselves in a capitalistic society and being about competition. Well, when did they face competition? You didn't allow anybody to compete against them. You didn't allow leftists or Democratic voters to pick a choice. So because you didn't do all of that, wait a minute, that's not our democratic society. Now, you didn't violate any laws. You didn't do anything unconstitutional, but that didn't mean that you were on the up and up. It didn't mean that you avoided being slick and shrewd and maneuvering your way through it. And then you turned around and tried to guilt us into voting for you.
The Raging Cajun says, point your finger somewhere else.
Biden. Then you can, after that, you can sort of assess blame. I think that Merrick Garland is going to go down as a man so respectful of tradition and so respectful of institutions that he was naive. He was trying to play by one set of rules and everybody's playing by another set of rules. And I don't think he's a bad guy. I think at the end of the day, he's just a horribly naive man that had no idea what he was up against.
Democrats are upset Biden didn't arrest Trump in time. They haven't learned anything.
Do you have a message for people on what they should do about this existential threat? Assuming that he still believes Donald Trump is an existential threat.
Look, his thoughts and what he said, his thinking on that has not changed. It has not.
So I thought we were supposed to get a peaceful transfer of power, but it's looking like another resistance. Biden's sabotaging Trump's plan to end the Ukraine war. He's handing Zelensky long-range American-made missiles, and he's shooting them deep into Russia. Now Putin's putting the nuclear option on the table. So before Trump even gets into office, he's going to have to wiggle his way out of World War III. Plus, Joe's sending every last dollar into Ukraine and billions more to his green buddies to build windmills and chargers. And now he's putting together a high-speed conveyor belt for migrants to come in before Trump does. He's giving, you remember the Open Table for Illegals app? It's getting an upgrade. Biden's new app lets Jose and Maria stay in the country and skip having to check in with ICE. It's really just an app to make illegals invisible. It's like an app to keep them in the shadows, so Tom Homan has a harder time finding them. This after DA Alvin Bragg's assistant just got mugged by an illegal Venezuelan gangbanger with a lengthy rap sheet. Meanwhile, Democrat governors and mayors are building a wall. But it's not the kind of wall you think. They're building walls of cops around their cities to keep ICE out.
We're not going to cooperate. We're not going to ask our police force to serve as ICE agents. Come on. We're not going to do that. We're going to do everything in our power to protect people in this city. Everything. So in other words, we will do whatever is necessary.
It's unlawful. You can't use the military. You can't do mass deportations. We're not going to do that.
So, and the mayor of Denver says you're going to see Tiananmen Square like resistance. What does that mean? ICE agents are going to show up to Denver and they're going to get into a Mexican standoff with the local sheriff? Liberals are going to stand in front of ICE vans? What, to protect illegal rapists from getting picked up and flown home? ICE agents aren't calling the mayor of Denver and saying, we're coming to 16th Street tomorrow at 7 o'clock to round up Biden migrants. No, it's not happening that way. These federal fugitive teams are going to show up whenever they want, wherever they want, and local yokel liberals aren't going to have a clue. No one's stopping that. Republicans have the will of the people at their back and walking around with a new confidence. The squad tried to get smart at a hearing yesterday, and Clay Higgins from Louisiana told her what time it is.
Please keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s name out of your mouths. Yes. Your perversion of his words and his mission when his children have asked you to stop invoking his name and perverting his work when he was a proud and unapologetic black man. I'm not surprised that you would deny American history.
I appreciate my Democrat colleague for exemplifying exactly the kind of oppression of freedoms that we're referencing. How about we'll quote whoever we want to quote? That's exactly the kind of baked-in oppression. Like, how dare a white Republican quote Martin Luther King? We actually had a congressman say that just now.
Democrats are fracturing into two camps. The resistance faction, who learned nothing from November 5th and is going to basically lay sticks of dynamite down on the tracks of the Trump train. The other faction is going to start listening. They're going to pick their battles, but cooperate where they can. Millions on the left define themselves by what they're against, Trump. But now the resistance is kind of petering out. They don't know who they are. Newsom diagnosed it this way. He says, a lot of people feel like they're losing their identity or losing their future. And he's hitting the streets of California, kind of like Johnny, to figure out why his state moved right. But Gavin doesn't need a listening tour. It's common sense. Trump's already making plans to revive the Keystone Pipeline. Europe's preparing for a peace summit. And in Jerusalem, they're putting up banners that say, "Welcome back, dear friend." The world's ready to move on from Biden. America's ready. Even Democrats are ready. Joe's going to Nantucket for Thanksgiving, and he'll be deciding when Hunter gets his pardon, on Black Friday or on Inauguration Day. Maybe he'll stuff a pardon in his son's stocking on Christmas morning, even though he's been a naughty little boy. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.